Showore has come for Tinubu again for pardoning Sanda, Maryam Sanda, demanding Nnamdi Kanu's release. You know that Maryam Sanders is one of the people who are received a pardon from Tinubu, and this Maryam Sanda was accused of buying her husband, I think sometime in 2020, and he was convicted in 2020 for the murder of her husband, Biliamino Bello. Human rights activist and presidential candidate of AAC has criticized Tinubu for doing that. Showore, in a post on his official X account on Saturday, condemned what he described as hypocrisy in the administration's approach to justice, noting that Sanda, a convicted murderer, was freed while Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, remains in custody despite not being convicted of any crime. Tinubu frees Maryam Sanda, a woman convicted in 2020 for the murder of her husband. A convicted murderer gets clemency because of a connection. Yet Nnamdi Kanu, who has never been convicted of any crime, continues to rot in detention while waiting a sham trial. This is hypocrisy. The activist remarks followed Thursday announcement that Tinubu had granted clemency to 175 convicts and former convicts, including Sanda, late environmentalist Ken Saro-Wiwa, and nationalist Sir Herbert Macaulay. According to the State House statement signed by presidential aide Bayo Onanuga, Sanda was pardoned after spending 6 years and 8 months in prison. Wow! With the decision reportedly based on her good conduct, remorse, and commitment to rehabilitation. So she has spent that year. Showore's reactions have since sparked debate across social media, with many Nigerians questioning the fairness of the presidential pardon list and using the government to demonstrate equal justice for all citizens, regardless of status or political affiliation. You see? Mr. Showore, please, softly, God forgives. Why not human imposition to forgive? Do you know why Putin is fighting Ukraine? He wants to annex it. Nnamdi Kanu, the Igbos to be balkanized from Nigeria. When you become president, encourage a balkanization. If Kanu is released tomorrow, Igbo are no more part of Nigeria. When you become president, reduce your territory. Okay, can you imagine? So you are saying that Nnamdi Kanu should not be pardoned. So what should be done to him? Should be left like that? Some people are just they are ridiculous. So ridiculous. Okay, Tinubu and APC government that lack focus. Who will dare to make the same fatal mistake that your late husband made by marrying you? Okay, with corrupt rulers that vied for office solely to line their pockets, everything in the shelf and for sale, no integrity and no conscience. Everyone must account for what he or she has done. Truth is power. Every Muslim, both those in Aso Rock and all second-class citizens on the planet Earth, remember your sovereignty is being monitored. Sanda's pardon can only be meaningful in those who own the victim of our murderous prediction decide to let the matter slide. No more, no less. Showore needs to understand the basic of a difference in a situation where an offender is already serving sentence or crimes committed, and in another situation you people are trying to justify what is being said. But why is it that when the court has already freed him, people say no, and you come to us to tell us the rule of law? It doesn't work that way. What is good for the goose is also good for the ganders. That is how it ought to be. Of course, they don't follow the rule of law, but they want other people to understand that what they do or the action they take is important. They will try to justify it. I don't just understand. Sentence him to prison, no. Release him, you said no. So what happened? You should just be there and you say you are practicing democracy and the world is not looking at you, because there's no way you can. If really we practice democracy, there's no how you're going to look at it without looking at, okay, the court has already told him to leave, to be freed. But if people say no, and you are telling us that if if it's released, that means automatically the Igbos are free. So you don't want them to leave Nigeria, and yet you still complain about them. Some people are really ridiculous. So guys, let's know what you think about a Showore stand. Thank you.